Yo, what's poppin', Mr. G?
I'm good, man. What's happening?
Yeah, it's been a minute.
It's been a minute, man.
Yeah.
Been traveling, been all around the world and back and
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're definitely kicking off with that. First, you told us you're in Kilifi in Kenya. Then you transitioned to UK. How was that journey?
It was amazing. It was amazing. It was a mix of business and pleasure.
Yeah.
Part of the journey had my family involved.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing to see people in Kenya, revisit the Kenyan coast, travel on those small planes, you know those small jumbo planes?
Yeah.
The paddle jumpers and stuff. And then make it back to Nairobi. I tried to get in touch with my manager, but we did not manage to put it all together. My former manager works in Kenya, actually.
Yeah.
So I was there I was in Nairobi for about only 24 hours, but I was in Kenya for about a week or 10 days.
Yeah.
And then proceeded to London, which was another wonderful trip. Got sick a little bit in the middle of all of that. Yeah, but overall, a beautiful trip.
Yeah.
Okutambula kulaba okudda kunyumya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look like you're from the Met Gala.
Now? You think I would wear this to the Met Gala? Do you know me, nigga?
You're still looking fly though.
Bruh, this is to the Matoke Gala. If I'm invited to the Met Gala, my nigga, shit, I will hire like 20 African designers to just come up with one piece.
Well, to some
crazy,
of us, that
right?
would be good enough. Yeah.
This would be good enough.
Yeah.
I don't do good enough. GNL does exceptional.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you know, if one tweeted and was like, who would, you know, steal the show if the Met Gala was to come to Uganda?
I think that would be a very interesting thing. I saw that post and I also commented under it. I said,
yeah,
that would be a great idea. But don't we have our own version of the Met Gala already? Maybe the only thing we are missing is a cause to fundraise for.
Yeah.
Or like different fashion houses dressing people.
Yeah.
But here the designers wait for you to pay your money.
Yeah.
Nobody is like, oh, our house,
yeah,
we want so and so to wear the clothes. I think it will really be another boost to the fashion industry here.
Yeah.
And for people who love charitable causes and fashion, a mix of fun, humor, and a good time, basically, networking.
Yeah.
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 I think it would be nice. We should call it the Matoke Gala.
Why would it be the Matoke Gala?
Because look at where we are. We're in the Banana Republic, of all Banana Republics, right? Okay. Pun intended, but I'm talking about the Matoke too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's quite interesting because, you know, when Trill was talking about his new record label, he said he called it Hot Matoke.
Hot Matoke?
So is that Trill, something to do with Matoke?
We're Trill now, we're better serious.
Are you guys obsessed with Matoke?
I think there is in the soul of every African man is a deep feeling of loving Matoke. I'm speaking for the Bantu. Bantu love Matoke,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And you guys love your millet and sorghum.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's even powdered cassava, like, I'm playing. I love all that shit. Yeah.
Well, that goes all the way far to the Nigerians because, you know,
pounded yam. It's yams, yeah?
No, it's all that. Pounded yam, pounded cassava.
I think every Ugandan I know loves fried plantain. Or loves a version of plantain,
yeah,
right?
That's for sure.
I just thought about northern Uganda food, which I like.
Yeah.
The bo marakwang with the bigenderako.
Yeah.
I'm not really a fan of millet and sorghum, though.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah.
But for the posho, yes.
Yeah.
Why are we talking about food now? We just came from talking about Matoke. I call it train of thought.
Matoke, yeah.
Every version of an African man has a version of plantain that they like. Either plantain, either Matoke, either it's the red one,
yeah,
whether it's the sweet bananas. There's a version of it that appeals to your soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, while you were away, you know, something came up, somebody went live and, you know, they were talking. I don't know, they just, it looked like they went on a rant. I don't know who sparked it off, but you know, it was a fellow musician, Baby Cool, and he was talking about, you know, I got connects, I made friends. I think he was talking to the young musicians who usually go at, you know, the bigger artists and everything in terms of, you know, dissing them or talking down on them. And he was like, which caught people's attention was when he said, you know, he's got connections and he's capable of paying, you know, certain people in the music business not to play other people's music. What's your take on that? Is that something you've seen before throughout your career?
It's not something I have seen.
Yeah.
But it's something I've heard people talk about.
Yeah.
I think for people playing into this music industry, you need to know that all different kinds of characters and animals exist within this industry.
That's for sure.
In this industry, you're going to find people who are good. You're going to find people who are bad. You're going to find the worst of the worst. And then you're going to find the devil's brother or the devil's sister. All those levels of human beings exist. That whole spectrum exists within the industry. Now you're going to find that with the artists. You're going to find that with people's managers. You're going to find that with people's, with the program managers of radio stations. You're going to find that with the promoters. You have good ones and you also have bad ones. I think it's like, it's not only exceptional to the music industry alone. It's the world, basically. Even in a village, you find the worst of the worst, and then you find the best of the best, right? There are people who are very vindictive and very petty. One thing happens, and he wants to destroy a person's whole career forever. There are Diddys. The Diddys of this world also exist in this music industry. Except that here, they're not as pronounced. Some are very good at covering their tracks, but so many of those exist. Those characters exist. So when he says it and it comes out of his mouth, then you best believe it. If somebody shows you who they are, believe them. You know, if it was out of somebody else's mouth, then you know that there would have been space for doubt. But that was on camera. Right.
That's for sure. Because I was telling some guys that, yo, when we look at people like Kerry Hilson, Lil Mama, you know, the things that happen and, you know, the rumors having it that, you know, their careers were ended because of the things that they did, you know, to certain people in the industry. So to me, I think it's just a game. You know, the game is not as
It's part of the game. But just like any other game, it's part of the game,
That's
right?
for sure.
But just like when you're watching soccer or you're watching basketball, you can tell that's a dirty player. Like you can play the game, yes, you can tackle the ball, mistakes can happen, somebody trips and falls, but then there are players who just are out there to break somebody's leg. Or take them out of the game. You get me? Like they so yeah, just like you call it, it's a game. And in the game, you know, there are clean players and there are dirty players. That's why they say there's an award which is given to players for good conduct. What's it called? You and I are not soccer people, but there's a player award given to players who just exhibit exemplary conduct. I think that the last time I saw it, it was I think a goalkeeper got injured, and the goal was open, right? He could have just kicked the ball in, but he just stopped the ball because the other player was injured.
You would say man of match?
I don't think they call it man of match. There's something I'm missing. Maybe people will tell us in the comment section, but it's escaping me now. That there are people who play the game, and everybody plays the game the way they want to play the game. There are written rules, and then there are unwritten rules. There are people you can fuck with, and there are people you can't fuck with. But I think the best rule everybody can follow in this music industry is just stay in your lane. Why would you have to abuse somebody?
That's
in order to become somebody. You get me? I don't think I ever reached that. I don't think I ever had to belittle somebody or go send shots at somebody in order to become me. Or whatever.
What happens
but
when
everybody plays the game how they want to. Some people want to enter the game and they see. But when you invite violence on your doorstep, you always get violence. Live by the gun, die by the gun. And karma, I believe in karma. Karma always comes and bites people. I believe in it. You know, like whenever I see people acting bad and bad things happen to them, sometimes it's just like, there goes karma. Karma is doing its thing.
There is going to be consequences for every,
For every action, it's actually, it's in the laws of physics.
Yeah.
For every action, except an equal and opposite reaction.
Yeah.
When you get on a microphone and disrespect somebody's family or abuse a musician, they are going to give you something equally back.
Yeah.
You get me? Now, there are some people who are used to being punched.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, I can take those punches. Then there are people who have like a very thin skin. You get me?
Yeah.
Or you might, I've seen this with people who comment in people's comment sections. They're very good at dishing it out.
Yeah.
At dishing the negativity out.
Yeah.
But the moment the other person replies with the same gravitas of the negativity, they can't handle it. You get me? Like they can't handle it. So my advice to everybody is just like keep the positivity in the industry, you know? Like none of us is ever going to go away with any of these things that you see. We are only here on a journey. So play your part in this journey. You're going to leave it behind. You get me? Just leave it better than you found it. You get me? That goes to the old players and to the younger players. Leave this place called the music industry, or this world, or this universe, better than you found it. Takes nothing away from you. Yeah,
that's for sure. I guess at least that sets the pace.
It does. I hope they're listening.
So Jay-Z, says allegations made by Busby cost him over $190 million in contracts. in a situation whereby, like you say, people mention things to others and draw allegations, and they don't think about the fact that they could cost the other person in one way or the other. What would be your take on that? Do you think it's true though?
It's very believable. I can't say it's true, whether it's true or not, but it's very, very believable. For a person like Jay-Z, if you say in the era where we are post-Me Too movement, where black men are being taken down left, right, and center, if you even just point a finger towards that direction, you're definitely going to cost him money, because not only is Jay-Z paying his PR team to clear it out, he's paying lawyers, private investigators to find out who this Jane Doe is that's suing him. So basically, I think that's $5 million out the door already.
That's for sure.
Hiring the legal team that's capable, the PR team to clear that up, the private investigators, and making sure that his family is even more secure than ever. Because I remember when all that Michigas was going on, his daughter had been given a role in a movie called Mufasa. And for the very, very first time, I saw people turning in a way on Jay-Z. He was there to support his daughter. You get me? Like any other parent would be proud to see your daughter, now she's of age, beginning to get these roles. But the wolves were like, he was there, he had no shame. Like, what did you expect the man to do? I thought it was innocent until proven guilty. Why do the rules have to change if somebody is in a position like Jiga is, right? So in terms of endorsements, there are companies that are so sensitive to negative press that they will run the other direction the moment there is the R word. He was accused of rape, right? The moment there is a rape word in a statement, whether you're guilty or not, some companies will just bolt. Now, we don't know what Jay-Z was working on when Mr. Busby, the ambulance chaser, the one who is... First of all, his intention was to take Jay-Z down. You get me? But Jay-Z was ready. You get me? But we don't know what Jay-Z was working on when this idiot came through with his accusations, right? So if he says 200 million, if he says 500 million, I think at Jay-Z's level, everything is believable.
That's for sure.
You get me?
And that spins into our big homie, Shannon Sharpe.
Shannon, come on, Ank. Come on, Ank. Come on, Ank. Come on, Ank.
What's interesting
Shannon Sharpe. It's in the name. You're supposed to be sharp. You're supposed to be sharp. Come on, Ank.
And it's interesting because there was a video whereby he had hosted Monique, and Monique was trying to tell him to stay away from the young,
From the young girls.
From the young girls.
I don't know. From the moment when Monique said it, my mind was like, is Monique trying to make a move on Shannon? And then I remembered Monique is in a very loving relationship with the husband. You get me? Those two, they can go to war with the whole world. They went against Oprah.
Yeah.
They went against Steve Harvey.
Yeah.
They went against basically the whole nine. They went against the whole of Atlanta, just the two of them.
Yeah.
Basically, they were like, if you don't want to hire us, we're going to stand on truth.
Yeah.
So I keep on going back to that conversation, and I remember how she said it and how she delivered it.
Yeah.
It was like they already knew something
about
how he was moving.
Yeah.
You get me? It was more like, bruh, we know how you're moving in these streets, but you better be careful.
Yeah.
Better get yourself a black woman who's going to be loving on you of your age, basically.
Yeah.
It's like really embarrassing to be a 57-year-old man and you're dating a 19-year-old.
Yeah.
He probably has kids who are like older than this girl he was texting with. Yeah. And some really, really nasty stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think I can even say it out here. You get me? I mean, it's entertaining to read, but you wouldn't want that to be your dad.
Yeah.
Right?
That's for sure.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah, it is.
It's not only embarrassing to him, so it's embarrassing to black men. Black men don't cheat.
Yeah.
This was a...
That's for sure. Well, it came at a time where it was, set to sign a deal, worth 100 mil. And, what's ironic as well is they keep dragging Jay-Z. It's like people trying to use Jay-Z as a shield.
I think Jay-Z, every time he's mentioned in this case, is like, why are you trying to put me in this? Like, Shannon Sharpe tried to use Jay-Z as his defense. But the difference between Jay-Z kept on saying, I've never met this person. I don't know who this person is. And even the people who were speaking out on the side of Jay-Z were like, they were speaking to the character of the man.
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah.
When people like, what's this sports guy's name? The one who's always shouting. Steve, yes.
Yeah.
When he was giving a statement about Jay-Z, he was speaking with a lot of authority because he knows this is a man of integrity. And confidence.
Yeah.
But when he was speaking about Shannon Sharpe, he was like, I wasn't there.
Like I wasn't there.
Like, bruh, it's like they know. But this is how he moves in the streets.
And it's like they work together. He's more closer to Shannon than Jay-Z in a way that...
Of course. He has known, I think he has even known Shannon longer than he has known Jay-Z because they're all in the sports, into the sports world.
Yeah.
You get me? But that being said, I think Shannon Sharpe, he has Sharpe in his name, but he's not a Sharpe guy.
Yeah.
We're in the era where there are people who you send a text message and they are going to use that as a bragging right to spread whatever you're working on with anybody.
Yeah.
There are people who are idiots that move like that.
Yeah.
I don't want to use the idiot word, I'll take that back. But there are people who are so thirsty for clout that they'll hang on to text messages that you presume would be private.
Yeah.
There are things I can never text about in my life.
Yeah.
And I'm not even on Shannon Sharpe's level.
Yeah.
But there are things in my life I would never text anybody about.
Yeah.
Simply because I don't know where that information is going to end up.
Yeah.
And there are things where if I'm going to inquire from somebody who I know is a gossip or I don't trust, I won't do it myself. Somebody else will have to do it for me.
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah.
That's how a person in Shannon Sharpe's whatever shoes is supposed to move.
Yeah.
If Jay-Z is doing any that, I don't think anybody would know.
Yeah.
It would be Ty's assistant. That means the assistant of the assistant is the one doing all of that work. That's who you're dealing with. Yeah. You're not dealing with Jigga.
Yeah.
So there should be layers of protection. Like this job that we do comes with a lot of envy, jealousy, that it is your responsibility to actually protect yourself and create layers around yourself. Not because you don't want to be accessible, but the more accessible you are, the more danger you create for yourself.
Yeah.
That being said, Ankh, what are you doing with a 19-year-old girl? You get me? Like, it's crazy.
He made a mistake and made an offer. Mess and, Cameron were on their show.
Yeah.
And, Mess was like, well, yo, this guy's asking for 50. He offered 10. That was the pimp wants his cut. That was the pimp's cut. So
yeah, I love Maze and Cam. They're funny. Yeah. They're really, really funny. Yeah. So everybody's poking fun at Shannon Sharpe, right? I feel sorry for him, for real. Because I've been seeing, he's the guy that never made, he's a Hall of Famer, right?
Yeah.
But in sports, sometimes you have these guys of the older generation that did not make even a quarter of the money the young generation is making.
Yeah.
Yes, fine, you're a Hall of Famer, but you did not make tens of millions of dollars throughout your career.
Yeah.
Shannon Sharpe could have made the most 5 mil.
Yeah.
You get me? But he's now in a position where he has played his media hand so well, right?
Yeah.
He's the club Sheshe is doing so well.
Yeah.
He has spin-offs with Hancho.
Yeah.
He has his ESPN job. Basically,
Yeah.
he's one of those like free agents. You get me?
Yeah.
And he's funny. Like all of us, before all this stuff began happening.
Yeah.
Lakers in 5. You know.
Yeah.
He had a tagline that he had humor.
Yeah.
You get me? He's a guy you want to watch on your show. You want to watch on commenting about sports.
Yeah.
I'm an NBA guy, so that's my territory. You get
Yeah.
me? But when it comes to how you move, the bigger the money gets, the more careful you have to become. You get me?
Yeah.
Monique was so right. Having a faithful woman beside you stops you from all of the bullshit.
Yeah.
All of the bullshit means there's so many temptations out there.
Yeah.
The beautiful ones are not yet born because every time you go out, there's always a more beautiful woman. But
Yeah.
more beautiful women also come with a lot of baggage.
Yeah.
Like that 19-year-old girl is coming with a lot of baggage.
Yeah.
Basically, I think every time they were texting, she was showing that to baby, her pimp,
Yeah.
her brother,
Yeah.
her sisters, about how she's dating this iconic former football player.
Yeah.
You get me? So it comes with a lot of responsibility. The higher you go, if you're making a deal of 100 million,
Yeah.
move responsibly, move accordingly.
Yeah.
All this money doesn't like noise.
Yeah.
Big money does not like noise.
Yeah.
The quieter you become, the more principled you become, the more you protect your empire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because even when you're quiet, there is something they're going to try and
Yeah, even
instill
when
on
you're
you.
quiet, the wolves, I call them wolves and vultures.
Yeah.
The wolves and vultures always
hyenas.
come. The hyenas always come,
Yeah.
trying to sniff to see if there's something they can
something.
get out of that.
That's for sure.
It should have, yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's a very, people go crazy in this industry, not because they don't have the mental capacity to handle things, but because they just don't know the best way to move in a room full of vultures.
Yeah.
Jigga said it best, right?
Yeah.
You need to learn how to move in a room full of vultures.
Yeah.
Every time before you place a step, no matter how good the money is, no matter how much you trust the other person, you need to double check it, triple check it.
Yeah.
And I mean, there are mistakes that happened on 11. You're like, that could have happened, you know? That could have happened to anybody. But then there are mistakes where you're like, you're still texting in this day and age about how people still sharing dick pics. Yeah?
Yeah.
How can you be in a position of power and you're still sharing dick pics at that age?
Yeah.
Through a text message? On your personal phone? Like, come on.
Crazy.
You get me? But I say all of that to say, I don't know if it was Malcolm X or if it was Farrakhan who said, when a brave man falls, right?
Yeah.
Don't laugh.
Yeah.
Observe and learn.
Yeah.
You get me? It's not time to laugh because it can happen to anybody.
Yeah.
So when something happens to a big man or a strong man or a rich, wealthy person,
Yeah.
or any man of stature,
Yeah.
right? And I use man to also mean men and women.
Yeah.
Don't laugh. Just watch, learn, and take the lessons.
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah.
Learn and take the lessons. So we hope he survives it. Lucky for him, it wasn't an underage person.
Yeah.
You get me? It's just that it's a society judging him for being a 57-year-old man dating a 19-year-old.
Cross
Like,
generation.
come on. Like, it's not even cross-generation, bro. It's like reaching to the dinosaurs, you know, and pulling someone out of a cave.
They shared a peak of 2010. How young the guy, she was a baby.
See,
man.
and the internet is unforgiving, by the way.
So unfortunate.
Yeah.
Anyways, away from that, so Akon, said in one of the interviews that he had on a certain podcast as well, and he said if it hadn't been what they did in Nigeria, Afrobeat wouldn't be where it is now. There was no business attached to it, and they brought the business to it. What's your take on that? What do you think, the way we think of how Afrobeat is big right now?
Mm-hmm.
and how it's taken over the world.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, Akon coming out right now, and it seems to have receipts. What's your take on that? Him as a businessman. Why do you think actually?
I'm very careful in the way I move and speak about Akon.
Yeah.
Because I know how his brothers move.
Okay.
But Akon is one of those like very respected African artists, right?
Yeah.
It's just that when Akon says some of these statements,
Yeah.
they seem arrogant, and
Yeah.
I know his intention is not to be arrogant
Yeah.
in this. But two things can be correct at the same time.
Yeah.
You get me? You can't say there was no business because Fela Kuti already had established some sort of business.
Yeah.
He was already touring, right? But Nigeria already had bands, you get me? But I can say that from the time we saw the Akon P-Square collaboration,
Yeah.
a few things had begun changing.
Yeah.
You get me? I think Akon has been a big brother to so many African artists.
Yeah.
And in being a big brother, they say the higher you rise, you get to a point where if you can't take everything with you, right?
Yeah.
You just need to share that knowledge. There's a level you get to where the next big level is just sharing the knowledge that you have. And I think Akon believes that the blueprint of, because Akon could have claimed to be an American artist. I know so many African artists in America who people would not even guess are African, Ghanaian, Zambian, or South African. They all claim to be American because before there was a prejudice attached to coming from elsewhere and conquering America. You get me?
Yeah.
So it was Akon, it was Wale, you get me, who were already entrenched into the American system.
Yeah.
You get me? That knew how to move with labels, that knew how to move with promotion, that knew how to properly brand themselves,
Yeah.
that were lending hands to African artists.
Yeah.
I remember that. I remember that era when everybody wanted a Wale collabo.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted an Akon collabo.
Yeah.
And then there was a time when American artists wouldn't touch an African artist in terms of collaborations.
Yeah.
But that being said also, the Don Jazzes were doing their thing already.
Yeah.
And P-Square had already been with a few hits, you get me?
Yeah.
I think what Akon means to say is the industry did not have the notoriety or the success that it has, right? If they had not taken up his model. There was already a business going on. We all knew African Queen already. Two-Face was already on private jets going to perform in different African countries to do the song. You get me? That means there was already a business out there.
Yeah.
But Akon was the very first person to come out and say, I come from Senegal.
Yeah.
I'm an African artist.
Yeah.
And looking from the way he looked, from the way he gave this thing a shiny, I think the right look, feel, and basically brand.
Yeah.
Because there's sometimes a box where African artists try to make it international by only appealing to, where it's almost like they're doing them a favor to be on the platform.
Yeah.
But Akon, right now, Burna Boy, all of these people walk into a room and command their space.
Yeah.
You get me? Even Fela Kuti was very unapologetic. It wasn't that you're putting him on a thing because you needed a place filler.
Yeah.
You put him on that because you respected their music and what they were bringing to the table. So for Akon, I don't think ever in the world there should ever be space, or if there's no single hero story.
Yeah.
From how I know the world and how it operates, there's no single hero story.
Yeah.
So Akon cannot claim that it was him.
Yeah.
People are going to point out everybody who has contributed to that journey to where it is right now.
Yeah.
You get me? Even the Beatles could claim, oh, we were in Ghana or we were in Nigeria and we took there the very first mixer.
Yeah.
You get me? Our manager met with so-and-so, and then that's how a collaboration ABC and D happened.
Yeah.
There are people who Akon has not touched but have managed to create strong African brands. You get me? So everybody is going to have a different story to this Afro-beats rise in the world. Akon definitely is a big contributor He's a big brick and pillar to that. But there's no single hero story ever in the world.
Yeah. And I think he clarified it, you know, when he was asked, and then he said, no, I can't say that it was me particularly, or, you know, but of course he said that signed Wizkid, and the very first collaboration that went international with the P-Squares, in a sense of now, like the American coming together with the Nigerian, and it's official, not that they're trying to help them with this.
So Akon was definitely a bridge.
In that sense.
He was definitely a bridge.
Yeah.
But he was not the only bridge.
Yeah.
Some people took a plane, some people took a boat,
Yeah.
some people took a train, you get me?
Yeah.
But a bridge eases things much faster and then creates a connection that lasts longer, you get me?
Yeah.
So definitely Akon is one of those people, but he can't claim the whole pie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You posted...
Oh, and also, I think Nigerians have a problem with him saying Wizkid is his son. Like he tries to son Wizkid.
Yeah.
You get me? Like people have a problem with that because the Nigerians feel they have supported Wizkid's career since he was a teenager.
Yeah.
So how can you be the international artist calling their superstar? It's like somebody, it's like Iron Man saying, Black Panther, come here. I raised you.
Yeah.
You get me? Like, nah. Black Panther is Black Panther out here.
Yeah.
You get me? And Black Panther is Black Panther to the whole universe.
Yeah.
Like, who is Iron Man to these Africans? You get me?
Maybe he says
much as they're all part of the Avengers,
yeah.
Black Panther is Black Panther.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I get it.
So I think there needs to be, Akon needs to realize that he's no longer a big brother. You get me? Like it's now, all of them have reached the age where it's no longer your young uncle, they're all your uncles sitting on the village council.
Yeah.
You get me? Like that, the language of patronizing sometimes that's in his tweets needs to go away.
Yeah.
And then his due respect is definitely there.
Accord the respect that, you know,
someone
is having at that point.
Yes, yes.
That's for sure. So you tweeted and said you don't believe in handouts anymore. And you said living in America taught you this. Your experience in the US.
Yeah.
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 What was the difference with how Uganda was when you're still here and when you went to the US that changed your mindset in that sense?
There's something called the black tax. I don't know if people know about this. It's like a hilarious term, but that has so many connotations. In America, if your parents came to your door, right, and began living under your roof, right? Yes, for a few days, that's fine. After 1 month, they're paying rent as well. You begin splitting the bills.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for them, in Africa, we definitely have to take care of our parents. In America, they don't have that responsibility.
Yeah.
The parents have actually the responsibility to leave wealth behind.
Yeah.
For their children, right?
Yeah.
So that's one observation.
Yeah.
It's not that I've changed 360. I'm an African at the end of the day. Like, my name is Nsimbi Tulye. You get me? But that's an observation.
Yeah.
Another thing I observed, so that means that if a child is born, right, the parent can provide shelter, but when they are 18, they are kicked out.
Yeah.
You get me? When the parents get old, yes, the son has to take care of the parents and whatever, but their responsibility is not just financial.
Yeah.
The parent is supposed to take care of themselves using their pension.
Yeah.
So that it doesn't weigh, the responsibility doesn't weigh on their children to take care of them financially.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, whereas here, if you come from a big family, right?
Yeah.
And about 5 relatives get sick, you're supposed to contribute to that. If so-and-so is graduating, you're supposed to contribute to that. If there are 20 weddings, you're supposed to contribute to that. So tell me, when are you going to ever build wealth for yourself? That's the black tax.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right? But that's not to say that that's the only reason why I don't believe in handouts. Another observation was that when American institutions give donations,
yeah.
So for us here, they used to just say, oh, you see a cause online and you're like, you know what? I'm giving my money to this cause. That's well and good. I'm actually so down for that. Ochiraba. Red Cross, I believe in Doctors Without Borders. I think those are my two. And anything to do with conservation of nature, anything environmental.
Yeah.
To me, those are the causes that are closest to my heart. You get me?
Yeah.
I believe people in hospitals need to be better taken care of. Those are people who are sick.
Yeah.
Remember, my tweet was about people who no longer have the Ochiraba. They don't have the ability to take care of themselves.
Yeah.
But if you have the ability to take care of yourself and you're just coming to me because you need money for beer, nah, that's not me anymore.
Yeah.
But I remember in the early years of my career, most of the money we made, we ended up buying our friends drinks, paying for their children's school fees, the ones that got kids early, paying hospital bills for people's mothers, you know, and then you get to realize at one point that none of these people ever really cared about you, but all of this money you would have invested is gone. So they say experience teaches fools. Fool me once, fool me twice, or together. So I think these are not only principles that are useful to I'm not telling people to be stingy. I'm saying there are causes to give to through the proper channels. The Americans, when they give to causes, their taxes are reduced. Even in giving, they are benefiting. While we Africans have very, very big hearts, when we give, take. When we give, take. Actually, our hearts even grow bigger when we give. When we help out, somehow we are programmed that we are happy.
Until you're in trouble.
Until you're in trouble, that's when you get to realize the harsh realities. You're like, but I've been helping people for the last 10 years, 15 years, and nobody can help me out with this. You get me? So many people face that harsh reality. And we have seen it countless times with people who are doing our profession, right? They've been making money on the stages for long, but because we come from we are creatives. There's no NSSF. Someone was correcting me saying, oh, but you know that you can pay money in NSSF and all these other things. But we all know the scandals with NSSF. I don't want to dive into that. That's not what my argument is. I'm saying that we as creatives, we are our insurance. So we should learn to give to ventures. Someone with a brilliant business idea, where the money is not mpayo, it's more like, bruh, if you give me 2 million shillings, not bro, just give me 2 million shillings, but bro, if you give me 2 million shillings, I'm going to make you 0.2 on your principal every month. And you're like, hey, million zanga bidis is gonna kuzala emitwala abiri. I'm just giving this as an example. Because I know there are people who can't take examples. They're going to be like, million bidi mitwala abiri, what business is that? I'm just giving this as an example. If my principal is million bidis and you're going to be giving me my 0.2 every month, obviously I'll listen to that if you're asking for money. But just impa, and my money just goes. That's the new G. Nowadays, for some of us, we come from like very huge families. You get me? And we're seeing our parents becoming old. So we no longer have the luxury of just giving your homie money to just go party. You get me? Because for me, money, Ugandans are very creative with problems that you could feel so, like during COVID, bruh, I gave money for Posho, I gave money for rent, I gave money for this, I gave money. Only to realize these guys were in clubs partying. You get me? But the dude was so creative with the story that he crafted. So everything has to come to an end. Now we invest in ventures. You get me? Because we have very big families to take care of in the end. We don't want to wake up in those cold sweats and cold realities of I've been helping out people ways. Where are they? Here, if my 0.2 has been accumulating and it's been going into a savings account, I just get from that and solve my problems without a car wash or right? But I think that's the culture we need to start cultivating amongst each other. This Luseke culture, nah. Sizirina, bwozinonya nange bwenzinonya.
I think one of your friends was the one who was so used to that term.
Oh.
At some point, I was wondering what it meant, and somebody,
The luseke.
yeah, corrected me, and I was
Because
like,
it's, you see,
okay.
luseke is actually a culture of like seeing that someone has resources, and you basically kulembeka.
Yeah.
I don't know what kulembeka is in English. My English is limited. You basically just put your hand out, so that no. Sometimes sometimes people scheme.
Yeah.
And say, man, I'm having a problem, such and such, and that's scheming.
Yeah.
When the problem doesn't even really exist.
Yeah.
You get me? He just wants money to go party with his wife,
Yeah.
or with his girlfriend, or with his side chick.
Yeah.
But to you, you're getting money from your savings,
Yeah.
and giving these people this money. Now we are in positions where, I don't know why I'm. Every time I give an example, people that they're supposed to help out people to not learn how to move, they flip it, and then it just becomes, that's GNL story, and that's how it moves.
Yeah.
But okay, put yourself in a position where you are an artist who knows. There are people who meet about 25 people a day.
Yeah.
Right? But if you're an artist, you could meet 1,000 people a day.
Yeah.
You get me? Now, of those 1,000 people you meet, some could be your hobbies, some could be your OGs, some could be people you did business with, some could be people you're in business with, some could be your fans, and everybody has a problem. So if in one day I can meet 1,000 people and solve all of their problems, and the next day I'm going to meet other people and solve all of their problems, how much do I have left on me?
Yeah.
It's actually very selfish of you to ask me.
Yeah.
Ngomanyi nti nze time egenda kuggwawo nga sikyayimba. Okiraba?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only logical.
That's for sure.
America teaches you to solve your own problems and not heap your problems on other people. Agazibu go togakuba bantu balala. Learn how to save, that's what they teach you. That's how people end up homeless, which is really sad.
Yeah.
We're still blessed in Africa that we cannot end up there,
Yeah.
right? But we need to start shifting the culture, not to become mean, stingy people, but to become accountable to our own selves and our own actions. Ochiraba. So that if you're making a wedding, don't invite people to contribute to your wedding. I shouldn't be saying this, but that's one of the money pools that goes into. If you contribute to 30 weddings, if you're a guy who's known, and everybody who has a wedding comes for contribution, and you contribute because you genuinely love, and you love these people, how much are you left with in your savings for a medical emergency? Ochiraba?
I doubt if very
I might edit this out and not post it because people hate common sense. Because there it just seems like a person is becoming mean. Ochiraba?
Yeah, but I think that's why for a long time we are not told the truth, and we always keep in the lie. We live in the lie because nobody tells us the truth. It's rare. We rarely.
But there's this English saying, right, that a fool and his money are soon parted. It isn't because the fool is foolish and gambling his money. No. It is because everything that comes to your doorstep, you solve people's problems. You're soon parted with your money. You get me? So I advise people, especially creatives and people in business, where you're just starting, because all of us are on a journey to get somewhere. All of us set our goals. Say that on my monthly salary, this is how much I can afford to give away. If you reach that cap, no matter how much a person's problems are, you've reached your limit. That's how much you can afford to give away. Otherwise, you're taking away from the money your children would have used in the future, from your future insurance. That's how I look at it. Give to charities, by the way. Give to charities. Because charities actually do work. Now, also, muntu sente nagenda nanywa mbunywi beer, or they're just lacking money to add on to their ticket to just go to Dubai and floss. There are people with real problems. Go visit a hospital and live like 200K at the gate. Or visit a ward or surprise somebody in a hospital, live 200K. Not these people just want beer.
That's for sure. What would you advise a young artist who has just, you know, done their very first concert, and they've checked in their first, you know, check. What would you advise them to do with it? What's the first thing you'd advise them to do?
Reinvest in yourself.
Buy dope clothes?
No, that's not investment. Clothes are not investment.
Okay.
Clothes are not investment. By investing in yourself, if you're an artist who has suddenly come into money, right, and you've made this money out of your business, right, reinvest in yourself. That means, right, whatever's been working, give it more resources to even work better because it's working.
Yeah.
You get me? So if your first cut profit has been 20M, take a portion of that and reinvest it in your business.
Yeah.
That means let your manager get their cut so they are motivated to even work harder.
Yeah.
You get me? Buy equipment so you don't have to depend on somebody else's studio when you want to record, right? Hire your own marketing team, internal.
Yeah.
You get me? And your marketing is basically your business development.
Yeah.
So you see, you're investing in a machine to make the money grow.
Yeah.
Clothes.
To keep it running.
You could be a naked artist and still make money.
Yeah.
Clothes is just sape. You get me? It's just sape. There's no clothes are actually artists spend a lot on wardrobe, right? But wardrobe is not really. If you bought a camera as an artist, or a phone, if you didn't have a good phone, if you bought a good phone, if you bought a camera, if you bought software, subscribe to good software to help your business perform better. If you invested in a class, say, if you want to get into acting, and you're a musician, and you invested in an acting class, that's investing in your future because you know more roles are going to come, you're diversifying how you're getting money.
Yeah.
So that's what I would advise them to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. How about in terms of probably how they keep up with their health?
And also, if you haven't bought a car yet, don't buy a car yet. Because if your fans loved you and supported you on a border, right? Why change the formula that's working?
But I remember a situation where.
Because people buy a car to only deceive others, in the first stages. Or maybe to just it's raining. You want to ease the pain a little bit, But if it's not necessary and you still have access to Uber, use that. Uber and borders, use that. Yeah, until you can really afford the car you want. Yeah.
There was a time when, Uber taxis, people were complaining. They would rob people and everything. So
are you sure?
Yeah. So imagine an artist being robbed.
I don't want to put that out there.
Being robbed.
I don't want to put that out there because Uber might sue you if that story is not correct.
Well,
there's a lot of hearsay.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hearsay.
Definitely that's hearsay because it's not like.
Yeah, it's hearsay. So you need to be specific and say there was some hearsay.
Yeah.
rumor. But I don't think organizations like that allow that to be a part of how they operate.
Yeah.
See that's like the full circle now. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like Busby pointing at Jay-Z.
Yeah.
That statement alone makes Uber lose money.
Yeah.
If it's not corrected. If it's not correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just say taxis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Taxis.
Mm-hmm.
Taxis want to.
What does who owns the brand Taxi? Taxi's Taxi.
Yeah, that's for sure. You're right about that. Yeah, but in a situation where an artist definitely, like A-Pass, that time when it just came out and he was ranting, going back and forth with people who were telling him.
A-Pass came out? Pause. Okay, let's go.
Okay,
I'm just being funny.
It was a story.
I'm being funny.
Yeah, it was a story back then where, they were pressuring him to buy a car, to have a car. And he was like, I'm okay on my border. But he eventually bought a car though. I was like, that was the point of the fans that there is a way
so
they want to see. So it was the fans
pestering him to buy a car.
Yeah, there is a way they want to see. That's why I'm like, okay, you made love the border.
Do you guys know the difference between a fan and a follower?
Don't fans follow you?
Yes, but necessarily not all followers are your fans.
Yeah, that's definitely there is always that percentage.
Okay.
People.
So as an artist, who do you think you should concentrate on?
Your fans, of course.
Here, in Uganda, you overly generalize things.
How do you determine that?
Because a follower follows you because of the clout. Things that bring clout are how you dress, how you smell, the women you attract, the cars you drive, where you live. People want to see people with things. But a true fan of yours does not care about any of that. That's why, for people like us who have big fan bases, right? Sometimes the people are like, but gee, where's the music? Like they have seen everything, you get me? But they're like, bruh, we want the music. And it's until you give them a freestyle, promise them a date of an album, that's when they calm down. They don't care about where you've traveled. They don't care what kind of life you're living. They don't care about your Facebook posts. All they want as your fans is music. So I think artists need to learn to differentiate between those two. The fans love the music, not whatever comes with the bullshit. So a real fan of the music doesn't care if you arrived on a border. Yeah, you're gonna stage. But the people who about the clout, the followers, right? They want to respect you because of the things you came with, not because what are you producing. Or what they get. It's about the product. We are in this as musicians, not with the clout. The clout is for people who are not talented. People who are not talented are the ones who need a lot of things to distract others. You get me? So, I mean, it's kind of confusing because so many people, the lines are blurry. You get me? Even people who are artists want to own these other things to make their lives easier. Some of them use that as the motivation. You get me? But if it is working, I bet if Bob Marley was alive right now, right? If he rode the border every day to go do a show, I don't think they would care. If Maddox rode on the border, riding his own bike, you get me? To go do a show somewhere, I don't think the Rasta community will be like, but Maddox, where's the hammer? Or Chilava. It's about the music. So you need to sieve as an artist, and I'm talking about the artist with an E at the end, artist. Because they all have it and say the artist, but I'm talking about the real guys, right? You need to really sieve what messages come through on your radar, or jump through and into your frequency and affect your behavior. You get me? Your real fans want music. Give them music. The rest will come when you can afford to take a watery.
Have you ever been in a situation where, okay, may not be you particularly, but usually the fans, you know, when we're defending our, stars, and someone makes a statement like, he makes it hard for me to defend him.
Like in what situation?
Like in a situation where Kenyans and Ugandans usually go back and forth on, let's say, on infrastructure or something, and they're like, nah, our president is better than yours. Look at how he dresses, then the wardrobe comes through. And then, they try to point out these things. Of course, it's kind of petty, but it's the game as well, the fun of it. Whereby we are better than you, or my artist is better than your artist. Pull out the pics. Let's start with that. Then your artist, then, that's a 1-0. Situations like that, I think, with the fans, the fun of it.
The fans want to compete, but those are not the fans. Those are the followers. Those are the followers of clout.
The fans will always fight for you.
Let me tell you another lesson I've learned in America. Right? There are places I get to in America and I hide my chain. Or there are meetings I go for and I don't wear chains. Simply because I know the billionaire seated next to me is going to come dressed in the most washed up, banged up T-shirt. Maybe if he's a sneakerhead, or Jakulaba, and like that's an exclusive sneaker. You get me? Or you will tell by their watch. But their clothes, bruh. And there are types of billionaires. There are those who are showy, but then there are those billionaires who arrive on a New York subway train. You get me? You get what I'm talking about? So for you're there, with your gold chains and all that. It's like, bruh. You might even look and be like, I like your chain. But that statement is not a compliment sometimes. You get me? So, when you're comparing, I don't even know how to answer your thing, because are we talking about the content? That's blinking. Is it about the content? Or are we talking about the bullshit and the mishegas?
Yeah.
Or chiraba?
Yeah.
What are we really talking about here?
Yeah.
Yeah. So artists need to learn how to sieve what to listen to that influences their behavior and their decisions, and the stuff that does not matter. Some genres require a little branding from the get-go, but sometimes authenticity shines through.
Yeah.
Authenticity shines through, and the more authentic you are, the more comfortable you become early enough in your career.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Abantu bw'obamanyiza boda boda bajja kumanyirira ku boda boda. Bw'obamanyiriza mu kubeera mugoli wa kabi, that's still the standard that they're going to demand from you.
Yeah.
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 But I'm going to tell you this, right?
Yeah.
People want the music.
Yeah.
The music. Kastoba music, bonga, it's what you do as a creative. The rest is nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So some unfortunate incidences happened, and of course, we lost some lives, and due to bad, we would say bad roads, but a lot of things were put together that caused the death of one of the prominent sons to a billionaire, who was called Rajiv, and his news came a little after we got news that Maro as well was involved in an accident that led him into a coma. We didn't see much more news after that of that situation.
Because the accident did not happen in Uganda. It happened in Zambia.
I think Zambia, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is a very unfortunate
Actually, Maro, we're sending you our prayers.
Yeah.
Our prayers, we hope that you get better.
Yeah.
When this story was shared on Baboon Forest Entertainment, I didn't even see it, but it was somebody else that knew Maro, right? That texted me directly and was like, are you talking about, and he used this Christian name.
Yeah.
I was like, what are you talking about? When I saw it was Maro's picture, that's when I went to our pages to check it out.
Yeah.
So I hope he's really doing well. I should give him a call.
Yeah.
Because it has been a while.
Yeah.
Sometimes when incidences like that happen, you first let this family stabilize.
Yeah.
And then you phone in. So I owe him a phone call. I'll find out how he's doing. But thoughts and prayers, Maro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's for sure. Yeah, and of course Rajiv as well. May his soul rest in peace.
Yeah, also Rajiv, may his soul rest in
unfortunate.
peace. That was so tragic. And to the family, man, I can't imagine what you guys are going through.
Yeah.
Strength, prayers, and our thoughts.
Yeah. Another incident that happened that was a little bit shocking, and I know you know this person, and that's Robin Kirsty. I don't know how well you know her, but we know her from way back. She word came out, and some video of her being arrested for certain reasons of, is it they found her with drugs in her house, the Benson of drugs. I think that was the whole thing. But the whole situation of, celebrities that we really looked up to from way back, and things happening to them right now. I don't know, what do you think attributes to that? Because usually it's when guys go out, then they come back. And it's like adapting to the new wave of the trends that are happening in the country that they were in and they were running way before, probably does not appeal to them anymore. And things start to happen back and forth and this and that. It was a little bit unfortunate to watch because
I haven't watched it yet. I haven't watched the video you're referring to, but I've seen the story.
Yeah.
Before we sat down, I saw a clip somewhere. That didn't look good. Yeah. So what's the question?
Yeah, she was arrested. What do you think about her situation? What message would you have, to her? Because probably if she was your friend, or she is your friend, I don't know.
Bruh, like I'm surprised at the amount of drugs in this country.
Yeah.
I'm really, 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 really surprised that the youth have a drug epidemic going on,
Yeah.
especially in this city. You get me?
Yeah.
because it's not only. So I remember Cute Kaye when he first had an incident.
Yeah.
I remember Rocky Giant,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And now we're seeing Robin Kisiti.
Yeah.
And it all looks kind of similar, that their facial features, they kind of like become thin.
Yeah.
Their facial features change.
Yeah.
And it's not a pretty picture.
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah.
It's not a pretty picture at all.
Yeah.
And Robin is a mom,
Yeah. right?
Yeah. Most of these guys are dads.
Yeah.
So it also takes a toll on the family.
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah.
It's easy to say don't do drugs.
Yeah.
But kids, don't do drugs, please.
Yeah.
Please don't do drugs. You might think it's a fun thing to do, but please, kids, do not do drugs. Because no matter how powerful, no matter how wise you are, no matter how much of a good girl you have been, you can get lured into that trap.
Yeah.
And it becomes a trap because it's very hard to escape. Imagine a trap where your body is the one that wants to go for that substance, even when you don't want to. Like I've seen people in the US with drug problems that cry, like they wake up crying. They're like, how did I wake up here? Or chidava.
Yeah.
It's not even funny at all.
Yeah.
I don't know. Now, very many names now are appearing in my mind, right? Of people that we know who are celebrities or who have been celebrities, who have had a drug problem.
Yeah.
You get me? And I think my manager, former manager, also came out and said, look, that time I disappeared from the industry, this is what I was going through.
Yeah.
So there's really an epidemic going on. And I think people like him, who have been on the other side of it, right, can offer a way through. Because I'm only speaking like this because I'm not in that situation, or I've never gone through those shoes, right? Yeah. But for the people who know rehabilitation and the steps that they have taken to end up on the other side, they're the only people to help out all these people. Yeah. You get me? It's just like when alcoholics can speak to alcoholics, because that's how they form groups called Alcoholics Anonymous. Yeah. People who are having drug problems and drug challenges, stop blaming them. The blame is not on them. Yeah. The blame is on us as a community. We need to create systems, right, to take care of. These are mental health problems, by the way. Yeah. Depression leads people there. You get me? Depression, peer pressure leads people there. Not knowing, some people are drugged. Their first time, they are drugged. And there's some drugs that are so addictive that even your first hit gets you hooked. Yeah. You get me? All these people need prayers. They need our prayers. They need our support. Yeah. They need our friendship in order to come through on the other side. Yeah. And most of all, they need people that have gone through that journey to hold their hand so that they can see their way through. Yeah. Yeah. It's a very, very challenging thing. I had a problem I was addicted to cigarettes for a very long time. Yeah. But people did not even know I was a smoker. You get me? But for me to beat my smoking habit, and this was cigarette, I'm being very particular because I know how silly people get in the comments. Yeah. For me to kick my cigarette habit, it took support, it took determination, it took going to an environment where people were smoking more weed than, they look at people who were smoking cigarettes like, you're still smoking cigarettes? Yeah. To them, weed was a more healthier thing. Yeah. And I know that message does not translate well here. Yeah. But in California, more people smoke marijuana than they smoke cigarettes. Yeah. Because there, cigarettes bring you cancer. Even the marijuana can bring you cancer, smoked, right? But the messaging against smoking cigarettes has seeped into generations of people. Yeah. Yeah. My advice is don't smoke, because both of them are very addictive. Yeah. To kick a habit like that, for me, I began seeing the deals it was costing me. Like even when I had a cough, I would go and spark a cigarette. Yeah. You're killing yourself. Yeah. So I know how hard it is. For me, it was 10 years of smoking. Yeah. And I think I haven't smoked for like the last 7. Yeah. The last 7 years I haven't smoked. But I know how hard it was to quit. Yeah. And this is just nicotine. Yeah. Nicotine is lightweight. Yeah. These kids are on heroin. They're on pills. They're all losing weight there like this. They're on ice.
And it's like they're not even aware of the side effects.
I don't know. When a person is addicted to something, they even know the side effects. They could name them for you. But they can't.
Yeah.
They can't quit. They can't quit unless there's a professional there to help them through. So it's upon the community to actually find solutions. The people themselves, it's not as easy as stop and people holding banners, stop, and organizations. I see so many NGOs of, we are going on a campaign to stop drugs. We're just going to walk. The walking alone won't do it. It's going to take counseling. It's going to take friendship. It's going to take institutions where these people can go. Trained institutions, you get me? It's going to take professionals to walk these people through that journey. Addiction is very, very bad, kids. Don't do drugs.
Yeah.
Don't do... Actually, if a person is your friend and they offer you something, stop calling that person a friend.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, anyone who offers you a drug is not your friend. That's the devil himself or the devil's agent going through that person.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, kids, don't do that shit.
Yeah.
I'm so fucking serious. It traps you and it will own you. You'll find yourself stealing from people you'd have never stolen from. Your relationships will get ruined. Nobody will want to hire you.
Yeah.
It will definitely take your whole life over and ruin it.
Yeah. My friends who were doing that, I just used myself as an example every time I was with them.
Yes.
I'm like, well, I told you to stop, you're not stopping, but when I'm with you and I'm looking healthier, I'm always going to tell you, look at yourself.
Yeah. Look at you and look at me.
Yeah. See where it's leading you. So.
Guys, it's really, really bad. And do you know what surprises me still is that in our generation, weed was the drug.
Yeah.
People used to say, they're pointing at the weed smokers.
Yeah.
So these people, they even smelled things on spoons. And you take a needle and then you prick yourself.
Yeah,
others put things below the tongue.
There is a lot that...
Like, guys, what are you doing? Like seriously, what are you doing? You get me? It takes people who know and see the effects to actually warn the people who are not yet in it. And the people who are in it already, who are already trapped, seek for some help somewhere.
Yeah.
Easier said than done.
Yeah.
But get yourself out of that house,
Yeah.
go talk to somebody and say, I need help.
Yeah. And I think people like Jackie have tried to do a very good job in terms of trying to tell their story.
People like Jackie, Sade shared the story, but I don't know if they have solutions yet, but Sade shared the story, and I think he would have chosen to keep that story to himself.
Sure.
Because so many people here have not, they're not mentally mature to absorb that.
Yeah.
But I think he shared that story because he wanted people to see a way through, that there's a way through. That's why he shared that story.
Yeah.
So I think they should talk to him. And he's a Christian now.
Yeah.
Sade is like, sometimes I suggest things to him that we should do together. And he tells me, Ochali kusaidi Eddy. He became like so Christian. Maybe people like him would offer helping hand. But it's always sad to hear. It's sad to see, especially when it happens to somebody who has children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Come to the
somebody's daughter, somebody's mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a pleasure having you as usual, G.
It's a pleasure being heard, but we're ending on a very, very sad note. Like if you care about a community, like rappers care about a community, because what makes us hip hop is that it's not just about the music, it's about the community itself.
Yeah.
What's existing and what's coming next.
Yeah.
So many other music genres will just end on you being on the dance floor, shaking your ass, being an alcoholic. Yeah. But rappers, this is another problem for you to tackle and talk about.
Yeah.
Like it's a silent killer. I don't see many people or more people talking about it on TVs and radio as it should be talked about.
Yeah.
Because for every Robin Kisiti you see, for every Rocky Giant you see, there are thousands of them.
Yeah.
These are the people you know because they are pronounced, and the media takes pride in embarrassing them.
Yeah, taking
you get
videos
me?
instantly.
Yeah. They do. They take pride and happiness in embarrassing them. But as a community, we need some solutions.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's on platforms like this that we try to re-echo situations that happen, you know. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thoughts and prayers, and if we can do anything also.
Yeah.
Like, in our own power, we should.
Yeah.
You get me? Yeah. Peace and love.
Peace and love.
It's your boy G.